in your dreams.
Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm just going to be doing a quick first impressions of Duet Night Abyss. I managed to get lucky and get into the closed beta test. I don't know if this is their first one or second one. I honestly have no idea. Anyways, I've only really been playing it for 2 hours. I only have 3 characters so far. Duet Night Abyss is an open world gacha game developed by HK Hero Entertainment Games. There is no stamina feature in the open world, so you can sprint and climb as far as you want without having to worry about running out of stamina. You can also jump like very stupidly high. You do have to use the camera in order to help you jump very high. I think traversing through the world is pretty fun since you don't have a stamina. You don't have to worry about running out. You can go relatively fast. However, I do think some gacha characters do have like an advantage for open world exploration. I do believe the current character that's on Rate Up can fly. I think there's also like another character that can just ride on a pig. The best part of the exploration is the fact that there's no stamina, so you don't have to worry about depleting it. You can cause some shenanigans when you're climbing a tower or a mountain. Also, since there's no stamina depletion, you can just run away from enemies without having to worry about any repercussions. Now, when it comes to the combat in this game, it appears that you only play as just one character. There is no character swapping as far as I can see. You only really play as one character. However, I do believe characters can equip many different weapons. You also have 2 different types of weapons that your character can equip. You can equip a melee weapon, and you can also equip a ranged weapon. So you don't got to worry about pulling for specific characters due to like a specific weapon type. Any character can use any weapon, and any character can also be melee and ranged. You do have a skill and you do have a burst. Whenever you hit an enemy, you basically gain energy to use your skill and your burst. There's also elements in this game that are pretty similar to Genshin. You got Animo, Hydro, Pyro. I don't know any of the other elements. I've only encountered Fire and Hydro so far, and I think I have an item that boosts Animo damage. Since you're only playing with one character, you don't have to worry about team synergy. And since every character can equip any weapon, you don't actually have to worry about leveling up another weapon when you pull for another character, since every character in the game can just use any weapon. I think the combat in the game is very fun since anybody can just be melee and ranged. In my opinion, I think combat is superior when a character has access to at least different weapons, in this case being melee and ranged weapons. The only character swapping gameplay I like is Genshin, since I do think the elemental reaction gimmick is pretty fun. Swapping between melee and ranged in Duet Night Abyss is pretty quick and easy. You basically just right click or hold right click in order to swap to your gun, and you just left click in order to swap to your melee weapon. Another mechanic that I encountered in Duet Night Abyss is that there seems to be like a strange stat like mechanic, kind of similar to like the Persona games. In Duet Night Abyss, whenever there's like a dialogue choice and whenever you select a specific dialogue, you do get a specific stat based on the dialogue that you chose. So being careful with your dialogue does kind of matter in Duet Night Abyss. The stats that I saw in the Duet Night Abyss is you got benefit, morality, wisdom, empathy, and chaos. And in Persona 4, you got courage, diligence, understanding, expression, and knowledge. As far as I can tell, in Duet Night Abyss, the only way to raise these stats is through dialogue. I'm sure there might be other ways to increase these stats. I encountered an NPC that was asking me a question, and it required me to have like 45 knowledge, but my knowledge was only like at 3. So these stats do matter. I just don't really know if there's like a more proficient way of farming these stats. As for the characters that you can collect in this game, I do think the designs are pretty good. In my honest opinion, I do think they are better than like the starting cast of Wuthering Waves 1.0 Wuthering Waves anyways. Some of the characters also have kind of like a quirkiness to them as well. Now, some of the character designs do look pretty similar to characters from other gacha games. I do know that China is very infamous for blatantly stealing designs and stuff. I don't think it's really that bad here. You can clearly see like a distinction between like the characters, and when it comes to anime character designs, obviously there's going to be a few that kind of just overlap and look very similar to one another. I saw a character that kind of resembled Lee from Punishing Gray Raven. I saw another character that resembled Phoebe from Wuthering Waves. I saw a character, one of the main characters is basically just Hersher of the Void from Honkai Impact 3rd. There might be others that I'm missing, but there are like quite a bit of similarities to other gacha games. I've only played the game for 2 hours. The story so far is, it's so-and-so. When you've consumed so much fictional media as much as I have, I don't really think much can really interest you anymore. Not to say that I'm like bored out of my mind or anything, but it's just, you know, it's just, I've basically seen it all at this point. Story is basically about the MC, the white-haired girl with one eye. She is basically trying to find her captured friend. Her friend got captured by like the Imperial Army, and now she's just trying to get her friend back. English voice acting for this game is actually pretty good. It's pretty similar to Wuthering Waves' VA cast. Some of the characters kind of have like this, you know, accent. I think I found Encore in this game. I think the starting character is basically just Encore's VA. So you're going to be hearing a few British lines here and there. I'm gonna just play a quick clip of some of the English voice acting in this game so you can at least get an idea of what they sound like.
Your first gig was quite slick, and you got on with Wells. Your career as a fox hunter is off to a good start. Here, a hot drink to warm you up. I was gonna treat you to one, but since Wells is offered, we'll put it on his tab.
Right. I did mistake this lass for a thief. It's the least I can do. Oh, and I can also catch her up on our line of work. To be honest, it's been pretty tough lately. Any commission worth a jot has to be fought for. I just had a gander at today's jobs, and they're all thankless. Except for that hot potato. A right bother of a job. Finding some daft stone. It's no point in telling you. Even us old hands don't dare touch it. Let alone a newbie like you.
It's looking for a rare mineral called Crystallo of Stella in the old Glevin pit. The client is Henrik Ethelred. Yes, the very same Henrik you know. Glevin pit is now a den for filthoids. A few fox hunters tried their luck, hoping to find some foxine scraps there, but not a soul came back. So even with Henrik dangling 5,000 silver coins, no fox hunter's taken a bite.
Fox hunters are born adventurers, but we're not reckless fools. The stone's very existence aside, who knows if Henrik can even cough up the cash? Everyone knows he's recently gone bankrupt, even looking to sell off the family house. Is he planning to gamble it all on trading Crystallo? Wait a minute. Crystallo trading's been banned for years. How's he planning to unload it?
Miss Camilla, how much are those tickets to the south you mentioned earlier?
About the same price. Interested in taking on the commission?
I think the English VAs are pretty solid, especially if they get them from like a company that's like from England or Europe or whatever. Now let's get to the fun part of this Duet Night Abyss game. The gacha part. The part that we're all here for, most likely. If you played any Hoyo game, you already know the deal. It's basically the same shit. However, there is a 100% banner, so you do get the character guaranteed. I think once you get the guaranteed character, if you're aiming for dupes, you do have to deal with the 50-50 system, I believe. Weapon banner is pretty similar. You get a guaranteed weapon at 80 pulls, but I think if you do want dupes, you do have to deal with the 50-50. I have no idea how generous this game will be. I don't really know too much about the developing team, HK Hero Games. Did a little bit of research about them. I think they're the same developers for Black Myth Wukong, and I do believe they were involved in developing Punishing Gray Raven. I don't know how much involvement they've had, but if you do Google their developing team name, you do see Punishing Gray Raven on their list of games, at least on a few lists of games. It's not on their official website, but I think you can find them on like the Play Store. According to some Reddit posts from like years ago, I think HK Hero Games and Kuro Games are kind of the same company. For all I know, the Duet Night Abyss developing team could be former employees of Kuro Games. As for how the open world looks in this game, I do think it looks kind of dull. The starting area kind of looks similar to Bellabog from Honkai Star Rail. It is the starting area after all. It just kind of just looks very generic to me. Probably like any other open world gachas, they probably are going to drip market like other regions as well. Although for all we know, they probably could do just something entirely different instead. I have no idea. I do think teasing other regions is the way to go since it is an open world game. I don't know if the game is going to have characters similar to Archons, Sentinels, Void Hunters, Pilgrims, etc, etc. I do think having something like that could help promote the characters or promote the game. I think Duet Night Abyss is probably going to be like the Ether Gazer for open world gacha games, just because I don't really see that much hype going around for this game. They also don't really have like a big developing team brand with this game, like with Hoyoverse or Kuro or Hyperglyph or Manju. Duet Night Abyss also doesn't really seem to have that much advertisement going around. I have seen a few advertisement for it, but not to like the Hoyoverse or Kuro Games level of advertisement. Also, both Ether Gazer and Duet Night Abyss, their gameplays are almost kind of similar, right? Like in Ether Gazer, you're only playing as one character. In Duet Night Abyss, you're also just playing as with one character. Playing with one character might not be like an ideal play style for the majority, right? Since gacha games, you know, you want to build teams, you want to have other characters and stuff. So I don't think Duet Night Abyss will really catch on. I do think the game will be kind of like a low-key game. Majority of the audience seems more hyped for other upcoming open world games like Arknight's Enfield, Azure Promilia, Amanta, NTE. To be honest, I kind of forgot this game even existed for a moment there. Duet Night Abyss is pretty fun so far. Only got 2 hours in. The closed beta test, I believe, only lasts like up to 7 to 8 days. That's not a lot of time. I was kind of planning to do like a full like review of the game, reviewing like the end game content and stuff. But since the closed beta test is only just for a short while, I don't know how much I can really unlock. I do think this game is worth looking forward to, and since this is a gacha game, you can play it for free, so it doesn't really hurt to give it a try. That's going to be the end of this video. Let me know what you guys think about Duet Night Abyss, and I will see you guys later.
Bye-bye now. Come again soon.